Hello people, welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to be looking at one by Virtual Brother and it's titled The Reality for Older Women in Dating. And I watched the first few minutes of it, and the predominant thing you see, which is a trend that I've noticed, and I'm sure many men have noticed, is when you see women in videos crying about men and complaining about men, it's, where are all the good men? So according to all these women, there is no good men. No good men. No, the problem is the men they're all going for. Like I've said before, all of these women are going for the top men who have got all the choice. So they will not settle for the other 80% of men because they deem them invisible and not even eligible, because this is how deluded women are. If a woman is a 3 and she puts makeup on and becomes a 5, she thinks she's entitled to a guy that's an 8. This is their mentality. They think, I'm a woman, I deserve the best and I can get everything. No, this is what I'm saying about women cannot look at themselves and be real. It's all about emotion and just chaos and insanity. But the bottom line is, in this video, is the word you'll keep hearing is, where are all the good men? Apparently there's no good men, people. No good men. Just all bad men, apparently. Well, if there's no good men, they must all be bad, right? So do you notice the pattern? Man-hating, that mindset that men are no good. They're not up to scratch, they're not good enough. But we've got old women who are apparently the prize, but are sitting crying that they can't find a man, because there's no good men. Never mind the 80% that are just ignored. We're only talking about the 20 or 10% that they want, you see? So that's why there's no good men. What they mean is no attractive men that they can milk dry or get a great lavish lifestyle out of. Yeah, they've obviously got to a certain level, maybe in their 20s, 30s, and maybe dated certain men that's given them a good lifestyle. They've got a taste of it and they won't accept anything less, you see? And then this is how they get stuck, because they think that they just deserve the best life, the best man, the best everything, and they don't want any, you know, how dare you even suggest that they should go for the other 80% of men? That's the bottom line. And this is the reality. Women literally ignore 9 men and will reply to 1 or be interested in 1. But the other 9 could be really, really into her, you know, genuinely wanting to get to know her, genuinely wanting to be in her life, genuinely wanting to spend time with her. But she's, for one reason or another, he's too nice, or he doesn't make enough money, or he's too short, she's no interest. So let's just watch what I would say is the results of feminism and the feminist ideology. That's my opinion. I mean, you know, if there's any other reason you can think of, let me know. But why is this a common theme, that women are old, they've hit the wall, and they can't find a man? Because feminism has taught them that they deserve whatever they want, they can do whatever they want, there is no limitations, they can get anybody, do anything. But the reality is, what I feel like is that feminism has just took women down a road of delusion that I don't even know that's been seen before. It's just delusion. I mean, what else can you say? I mean, it baffles me, like how women are collectively so damaged. Just watch this video and you'll see what I mean. It's like an epidemic of deranged, deluded, lost women who have been brainwashed that they can have it all, you know, and that's not the reality.
If you're 40 years old, you're fucked. Like you're never gonna find love.
I'm tired. I'm tired of doing it myself.
I am currently really struggling to understand the universe's plan for me.
This whole dating thing, especially at my age, over 50, is just...
Dating in your 40s sucks.
It sucks. It's absolute malarkey.
Why does it have to be so bad?
I literally don't understand why I'm struggling so hard. I just don't get it. It has been several years.
I think it was over a year I had a date, and then it's been several years since then.
If I have to go through one more talking stage, I'm gonna lose my mind.
My God, it's so draining. Dating is draining. I just can't keep doing it.
And the reason why women at this age can't find a man is because they're either too picky, their standards are way too high and delusional, so that makes it hard for them to find a guy that they want to begin with, and then they go on a date, and the guys who they're probably interested in can see right through them. And you have to understand, men who are masculine, good-looking, successful men who have got successful women, they've got experience with them, and once you spend a certain amount of time with a woman and you understand women and you can see them in a certain light, you don't just look at them with lust. It gets to a point where you get past that. Once you've had enough experience with women, you get past the lust and just giving into lust. Men get standards. They outgrow the lust part, and they can put that to the back burner and say, wait a minute, lust is good, it's always going to be there, but my priority is to find a woman who's not crazy, is not broken, is not damaged, is not masculine, is not feminist mindset, is not, a man hater. Or men can pick up on red flags. So basically, the men they want will be able to pick up on the red flags quickly, and that's why the dates never work out. Plus, like I said, these women's standards are so high that the 80% of men that they could date, they're not interested in. So that's why their pool is literally a unicorn.
I'm tired of being alone. I want to share my life with someone. I am just freaking tired.
Whenever I even get the tiniest glimpse of hope, it immediately disappears.
How many kids do you have? And how old are they? We are in our mid-40s to early 50s, Greg. Our kids are grown. They ain't looking for a new daddy. I am. Fuck.
Looking for a new partner in your 30s, 40s, or beyond is very hard. And let's face it, women around this age struggle in modern dating. But why? Why are they struggling?
Yeah, you date people and like sparks fly, and then it's just like, oh, I found better.
Oh, I went on a second date with somebody else and connected with them, and I want to try to pursue that. You were great, though. You were great.
I want to share my life with someone. I want to feel the joys. I want to have my hands held. I want to be held. I want to kiss. I want to support. I want to make coffee with that person. I want my person. I want my person. Why is it so hard to find your person?
Why is it so hard for older women to find their person? Is it that there are no good men left in society? Have all the good men been shipped to a different planet?
Where are all the good men?
I'm getting too old for the drug dealers and the scammers. Like, I want a stable man. I want a good man.
They have to be out there.
I can tell you right now, that chick there is way too masculine and hood and just not what masculine men are attracted to. You would hit it and quit it. That's it. And that's the reality. She's not necessarily ugly, but she's not the best looking, but her whole demeanour is so masculine, but it's like, this is the reality. Men will be like, well, you've got a box, you're a chick, whatever, I'll have a shot. That's what most men are like. But I think when a masculine man sees her, it would just put her off. It would put them off, because masculine men are not attracted to masculine women. You have to fundamentally understand that. The closer you can be to being feminine is like crack to men. It's so attractive. Just like the more masculine a man is in a woman's eyes, it's like crack to them. So this is not what men are attracted to. Like this kind of a whole masculine, yo bro, I'm a hood cheater. I can't even do it, but you know what I mean. It's like pure like gang. She's got like a gang aura about her. Like she's a gang member. It's like no.
Good man.
They have to be out there. Those of us that are in the dating game have to believe that they're out there, or we wouldn't be doing it.
Why aren't you looking for good women who are ready to be in a relationship and not sleep around?
I want a man that has money coming in legally,
He's smart as shit and could teach me some shit.
Where are all the good men that are ready and want to build a beautiful life together?
Where are all the good men that want to prioritize their family, their girlfriends, and the people around?
Where are all the good men? It's not the women, people. Women are apparently not the problem. There's every single woman that you're hearing speaking or you've ever heard complain about dating, it's never them. It's always the men. Where are the good men? Excuse that noise. It's some vehicle going past. But it's like, at what point, this is what I'm saying, women's biggest fundamental flaw is accountability. Unless we start bringing back accountability and forcing it upon women and shaming them for being disrespectful, shaming them for being overly sexual, shaming them back into being respectful, it's like, where is the accountability? Because they can't do it themselves. It's like the blind leading the blind in a generation of completely out of touch, in my opinion, broken women. Like, they cannot, like, you're trying to tell me that all of these women cannot get a man. Like, she's pretty enough, she could get a man, but it's not the man she wants. This is the thing. You see I've seen so many good looking women, oh, I can't find a man, men are trash, this and that, whatever. All men are with the cheating, whatever. It's like, wait a minute. If you are a 8, 9 or a 10, how can you not find a man? It makes no sense. You know, men would be queuing up for you, but it's like I said, it's not the men they want. So this is where it really frustrates me when they say, where are all the good men? There's loads of good men. Loads of good men.
Around them that matter.
Where are all the good age-appropriate men who are still wanting somebody to hang out with sometimes?
What are you doing? Where are you?
Like, she's not, if she lost a little bit of weight, she'd be pretty. She'd be at least a 7 in my book. Maybe not some people's, but I would give her a 7 if she lost weight a bit and she had a nice figure, maybe whatever. But it's like, why can you not find a man? It's their attitude. Men pick up on their attitude and their personality, and these women just seem to think it's superficial. That if you're attractive, men should just be into you no matter how they're used to having this power over men with their beauty. But once men, like I say, get a certain amount of experience with women, they get past the lust and they're looking at the personality. It's not just superficial, like on the outward. It's inward. It has to be outward and then outward initially, but the main focus is inward. And if you are broken, combative, masculine, man-hating, attitude-ridden, argumentative, all of that is just a no. I will not keep you around, and some guys will probably just pump you and dump you because you're such a bitch. That's the reality. That's just the cold, hard reality.
It's a powerful question, and one that reflects a lot of the frustration and confusion in the modern dating scene. But here's the thing. Good men aren't necessarily gone. Maybe they've stopped putting themselves out there because this is what they have to deal with.
Under no circumstances will I ever touch bills as long as I got a husband. None.
You see how I don't date broke men? Very mindful, very demure.
You want to get him to be all interested in you? Get him to spend money. That's how you know that, oh yeah, he's gonna be invested.
Instead of dating a man who wants to split the bill with you and asks you, what do you bring to the table? Date a high-value provider who would absolutely feel so emasculated if...
How about you date a man for his personality? How about you date a man for his qualities and his and his traits and, and creating a bond with him? That is what love is. Love is not about money. You silly fools. That is business. That is prostitution. If you are talking about men and money. Love is not... There's no money involved in love. These women are fools. And you need to avoid any woman that just talks about money and is all about money and all about whatever. It's you're wanting a woman that wants to know you and likes you. You should not need to go out of your way to impress a woman if she really likes you, because it should just be a connection where you're a woman, I'm a man, I like you, you like me, that is the chemistry, we get a bond, We get to know each other and then we love each other and live happily ever after. That is true love. That is how you find happiness. These women do not know what love is. It's all about money. Money, 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 honey. Show me the money, honey. Huh? No Gucci, no coochie. That cringy kind of stuff, like, come on.
If he ever asked his date to pay.
I'm not like you other girls. I don't go 50-50 with a man. A man picks me up. I don't drive to see a man. A man pays for my Uber.
Some of your friends are probably deep into relationships with dusty poor men, but you have the chance to marry rich.
And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is why the dating market is screwed. Women have these high standards, but will they drop them to get a man? Of course they won't.
My favorite is when people are like, oh, you're gonna die alone. If you don't drop those standards, your standards are too high, you're gonna die alone. Bitch, I'll die right now.
I'm gonna have boundaries. I'm not settling.
You're better off single with high standards than in a relationship settling for less.
I'm not gonna...
See, the problem is women's standards are how much money does he make? Is he above 6 foot? Is he, you know, it's all these superficial things. But men, their standards is about the woman. Is she nice? Is she peaceful? Is she loving? Is she loyal? So do you see that it's really men that are looking for love and it's women that are looking for business? This is the problem. Women are trying to... How can they expect to find love when that is not what they're actually even looking for? It's how much can you give me? What can you do for me? How much money? What lifestyle can you provide me? Like... And it's not like they're happy with a normal house and a normal car and you can just have a family and, you know, live decently comfortable. These women want Bugattis and BBLs and lip filler and holidays in Dubai, and it's insanity. That's not love.
To settle, I don't want to lower my standards or accept less than I deserve because I would rather be alone.
Like, the opportunities are endless. The men are endless. Like, we can actually make anything our reality. And once you tap into that thinking, and that's how you start thinking, you will be happier.
I'll die prematurely. I'll die today. Today. Before I drop my standards.
Now, is there a problem if a woman has high standards? No. Anyone can live how they please, because it is their life. But the issue I have with their standards is that they complain later in life about how they are no good men and end up like this crime.
Pretty looking women, but septum piercing, tattoos. Doesn't matter how pretty you are, how good looking you are. Septum piercing, tattoos, even like with the crazy coloured hair. No chance at all. That's the difference, you know. So you might get simps that'll go for you and say, oh, you're so hot, right, okay, and then that boosts your ego, and then you meet a real man with boundary standards and self-respect, and all of this is just next. That's it.
Lying on the internet.
I'm 53. And I
her eyes, look at her
can't
eyes.
believe
They're popping out of her head. Always look at the eyes. She's crazy.
that I'm sitting here, and it has been several years. I think it was over a year that I had a date, and then it's been several years since then.
Like, I would have loved to date someone for 2-3 years, get engaged for a year, and then live married life.
I'm not trying to be funny, right? But this is a classic case of no self-reflection or accountability. Clear your skin up. Get yourself looking at it. I mean, I'm not being funny. She's not. See, a woman like this should be like, she'll be looking for a guy that's 6 foot, makes good money. He's got to have a big package downstairs, whatever. All these deluded standards. Whereas she's not pretty, in my opinion. She might be somebody's cup of tea. She's not mine. Beauty is objective, or whatever you want to say, but in my opinion, she is not pretty at all. I wouldn't even. That's just opinion, and I don't choose who I'm attracted to. I'm just being honest. I would not give her a second look. So how can she be sitting here? Maybe she genuinely can't get a man because she is not pretty. But I bet your standards are still too high. This is so common. Women like this, if they just maybe bring their standards down, they would get a guy. but it won't. It's not the guy they want. You know, I'm not trying to be harsh. I'm just being real. This is a common thing where women are always trying to punch above their league, is way out of their depth, and that's why they're bitter about men, because how can you be bitter about men when you're ignoring like 80%? Like in the average, you know, most women do not acknowledge. I know I keep saying it, but it frustrates me, because it's like, wait a minute. You are only talking about the men you're overly attracted to and are pretty much out of your league. So that's obvious it's going to be hard for you to attain a man like that. We all want to win the lottery, but it doesn't mean that we can just sit and cry about it. You've got to live the life that you can attain. And these women just constantly live, I'm not settling for anything else than winning the lottery. It's like, okay.
If without kids for like 3 or 4, but the reality is, because I'm 32 and if I want kids and stuff, I will probably have a much shorter timeline, and that makes me sad.
I also feel like I'm getting older, and it's like I have to put some effort into dating or I'm just gonna be alone forever. But now I'm just honestly getting to a point where I'm just gonna be the single aunt.
So at what point do you just accept being single forever? I don't know.
Look, it's tough, but the truth is, sometimes women have to lower their standards a bit if they want to find a good man. Most men just don't fit all the dating rules you all have.
What is the 666 rule?
6 foot tall.
Makes 6 figures.
Yes. 6 inches. If you're a single woman and you're trying to date, you are looking for probably these qualities.
See, she's not pretty at all. So, like, how can a mid be sitting demanding this? This is how deluded women are. She's a mid at best. I mean, that's not attractive. There's nothing there. I'm just being real. I'm sick of these women sitting acting like they're all 10s. Oh, you're a 10. Stunning and brave, queen. Like, no. Let's just bring back reality. Let's bring back shaming. You are mid and you cannot be sitting there like you are the hottest thing since sliced bread. That's the reality. Lower your standards and get real.
Isn't a man.
In the U.S., 14.5% of all men are 6 feet or over.
Damn.
Shit. So good luck.
Tough there already. Just on the height alone, that's tough. 17% of American men make over $100,000. Okay, at 6 inches, you're in the top 15th percentile.
Damn.
So you're looking for somebody who's in the top 15% of dicks.
Right, just wait and see how deluded they are and how high and out of reality their standards are. It's always something like the 1%, 2% of men, or 0.02% of men. It's insane. So these studies, I like these kind of things because time and time again it shows women just how, because guys just take the stats and then they take what the women say, what their preferences are, and say, well, you want this, 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 and this, and then he tells you.
Size. Top 17% of annual salary and top 14% of height.
Why do I feel like those are so low? Because I feel like there's so many out there.
Feelings are different than reality, and the truth is, women's feelings often...
Oh, so it didn't tell you, but I guarantee it would be like 1%. 2% of men, or if that. It's always like a crazy low number. And that is the reality of how deluded women are. But whereas if you were to ask men what their standards are, it would be a lot more realistic, but it would still be hard to find because there's no loyal women, peaceful women, women who bring peace, not chaos, feminine women, friendly women. It's like that's a realistic thing to want, but even in the current climate, it's like that is a unicorn. That is how crazy women are.
Paint a picture that doesn't fully align with what's actually happening.
I hate to say this, but I think that women have to lower their standards.
There's not a girl on this panel or on the planet today who couldn't walk outside and find a man who's going to be nice to her, loyal to her, and make her his queen. Mm-hmm. Women don't want that.
The amount of chronically single girlfriends that I know, either approaching their 30s or already in their 30s, that are like wanting to settle down and have a family but can't, is an epidemic at this point.
They'll sit there and go, no, I want Chris Brown. And then they'll go try to get Chris Brown. Then Chris Brown will cheat. And they'll be like, I can't believe he cheated. I am devastated. Well, what the fuck do you think's going to happen?
That's it, exactly. Like, if you're going for the top guys, they've got all the options. So it's like, all these women think they can all win the lottery at the same time, you know, with like a little pool of money. It's like, nah, only a few of the best women will get these top men. All these women are so far off, they don't even get in the consideration. You know, they're the opposite of what real top flight men are looking for. Peaceful, loyal, kind, feminine, respectful, stays in her frame, respects her man's opinion and doesn't go out the boundaries and combat him all the time, argue with him, try and embarrass him, humiliate him, make his life a misery. That's all most women do nowadays. They're insane.
If I go to the car garage, right, you have to make a decision what you truly want in your life. If you truly want to just find a man who's going to look after you and take care of you, you're going to be his queen, he's going to be loyal, you can find that all day, but you're going to have to settle to a degree where a lot of women perhaps are not prepared to do that.
So I'll have conversations with my friends, and they'll say things like, oh, like, you know, I want him to make like at least $200,000 a year, like at minimum. He has to be in shape. Like, I really like a guy with a six-pack. I love a guy who's like 6'2". I need a guy with like a full head of hair. Like, I can't do bald guys.
So see, that's just 4 requirements, and look how crazy they are. Well, you can say that, okay, that's maybe something that physically you can't get past, okay. If a guy's bald, okay. That's just something you can't primarily change. Like, that's what you're attracted to, what you're attracted to, okay. But, like, to sit and say minimum of 6'2", in shape, and 200k, and that's okay if that's a 9 or a 10 with their requirements. Like a really, really super tippity top hot babe. Like, I'm talking cream of the cream. They can have these standards. But the crazy thing is, most women, no matter how ugly they are, have these standards. They put on makeup, take pictures with filters, get some comments and likes and ego boosts from simps, and then they think they can get any man.
Every single time you throw a new specification into what you desire, the only person that fits within the parameters of what you are looking for exists in your fucking dreams.
They'd rather chase a fraction of a real G's time than have 100% of the time of a fucking dude who they don't respect at that level. And it's kind of like going to a car dealership. You walk in there, if you want reliability, you can get a Nissan. But if you want to get a Ferrari, it comes with headaches. It's going to come with problems. So when girls say to me, "Oh, you know what, Andrew, you know you should be loyal to the," men like me don't have to be.
No, I've had girlfriends tell me like, "Oh my God, no, he's great, this and that," like, but I can't do a short king. So you're telling me you found a guy that's like not bad looking, has a great job with benefits, like financially stable, comes from a great family.
So that's the reality. These women will literally bypass a man who's got everything going for him if he's just too short. That's the reality. That is, and how insane is that? Now, listen, I'm not talking about they'll pass up a guy that's 5'2". That's okay, right, fine. But I'm talking they'll pass up guys that are perfect, maybe tick every box other than he's 5'9". Like what? Like 5'9" is it's a slightly on the shorter end, but it ain't crazy short. I could understand if he was 5 foot, but it's like when a guy's 5'9" and these women are like, oh no, like me, I'm like 5'11", and I don't get too much bother with women, but even with me, because by the time I put shoes on, that I'm about 6 foot, but it's like, why is there such an obsession? Like I've never bothered about my height because I've always like, well, you know, I'm a decent size, whatever. But it's like, why is there this obsession about height? I do not get it. Like, what is the obsession with men being tall? Is it because I understand that it makes women feel more feminine? I get that. I can understand that. But it's like, you're really going to pass up on a guy that ticks every box because he's a few inches too short or whatever? It's like, this is how crazy it is.
And you can't do it because his legs aren't long enough? Like, you bitches are out of your minds.
And it's crazy how many young women today seem to be following in the footsteps of the older women shown in this video. Many don't realize the gravity of their choices until their window for having biological children is nearly closed, By the time they wake up to this reality, starting a family often becomes risky.
Ever since turning 40, I've been wondering if, if I'm still fertile. And I looked on, a quick Google search will tell you that you have like a 5% chance each cycle. Well, I fucked around and we're about to find out. Here we go.
I mean, who even posts this? Like, that's mentally ill to me. Like, you're posting your car crash of a life. Huh?
Oh, wow.
Like, she's putting it, it's like she's got pee all over it, and she's like, oh well.
All right, so all you ladies wondering if you can still get pregnant at 40 on the
Just
first
listen
try.
to this again.
Wonder.
And becomes risky.
Ever since turning 40, I've been wondering if, if I'm still fertile. And I looked on, a quick Google search will tell you that you have like a 5% chance each cycle. Well, I fucked around and we're about to find out.
So, do you understand? Like, I think she means she just effed around, like, slept with loads of men. That's what I'm taking from that. So, and then she's putting that with her pee all over it. It's just like, this is a level of insanity that we're meant to be dealing with here. This is what happens when women have no frame in their life. They become batshit wild.
Here we go. Oh, wow. All right, so all you ladies wondering if you can still get pregnant at 40 on the first try. I still got it.
Several months later.
Hey guys, so a couple days ago, I started feeling really intense cramps.
Oh my god. Don't tell me that. Look, there's here two things here. She'd done it, and that this really happened, or she'd done it all just for views on her Instagram or whatever. Women do it, they lie. So did she lie about it, and then she's lying about this? Who knows? I don't know, do you? Would it surprise you? It wouldn't surprise me. This is how crazy women are. It's like this whole thing's insane.
And I know that can sometimes be...
Due to short cervix, looking for surrogate. Oh my god. Well, if that happened, that is sad, but that's what I'm saying with women these days. They're just that crazy. Would it surprise you if they just done this for clicks? That's happened before.
Normal in the second trimester, but they just kept getting worse and worse to the point where I started to wail. And I was texting my friend who has had a couple miscarriages. She said, "You're gonna have a miscarriage. You need to get to the hospital's labor and delivery unit." And I'm like, "You can just walk in?" Like, I didn't even know how to deal with the situation.
In no way, shape, or form is this video making light of her situation, but this clip was added to highlight reality. The sooner a woman focuses on finding a partner who aligns with her values and character, rather than prioritizing superficial qualities like height, for example.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point. What he's saying there is, look, don't leave this till you're 30 and 40. Don't go... The bottom line is, right, yeah, you can go and have fun, right? That's great, but that's temporary. You need to think on the long picture. The bottom line is, have kids when you're young and fertile. And, you're less trauma and more likely to be able to keep a man. And you're better looking when you're young, so the man's more likely to stick around if you can bring peace to him and you can be feminine. It's like you need to learn what men really want to be able to apply that for to get the best life. Because following this feminist sort of craziness, it's just destroying society. Obviously, I'm speaking to both men and women here, but at times I'm speaking to women and men. But I try and I say this because my videos are to try and awaken women, because it's okay educating men. Everything I'm saying is stuff that can educate them. But if women don't change, I feel like that's the main problem. Like, if women don't change, this is just going to be like a repeat, like a broken record, just the same destruction. It's just going to get worse, really. And I think until women can actually learn to understand what men want and, you know, use their youth to their advantage, and remember it doesn't last forever, and that's when that's when you're at your most valuable, and that's when you can attain the best life. And just don't be a feminist, be feminine. The closer you are to being feminine, you know, is like crack to men, and that's it, you know.
Example, which I covered in the previous video, the better it is for her future and for society as a whole. This has been the reality of older women in dating. Please like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, to answer the question of where are all the good men, may I present this.
Where are all the good men? Well, I'm sorry to tell you this, ladies, but they're done. They've walked away from today's modern women. They're done with dating, done with marriage, done with relationships.
And why have these good men removed themselves from the dating pool? Well, unfortunately, chances are it's because women, when you dated that shitty guy, you may have adopted some traumas. And then when you dated that good guy, you didn't know how to treat him right, how to respect him, how to deal with a good guy. And you pass those traumas along to this good guy.
No, the real reason they're leaving is because they don't see a point in relationships anymore. Because there is no point in relationships for today's men. They're expected to give while getting nothing in return.
And what have the good men done? They've just removed themselves from the dating pool entirely. They've tightened their circles, they've figured out how to be comfortable with themselves, and they're not looking for anyone anymore. They're the ones who are at home on the weekends, they're the ones who are at the gym and just living their own quiet life. And that is why modern day dating has become so difficult, because the women are looking for the good men, but the good men have been hurt and removed themselves from the dating pool, and now you're stuck with the single men who are menaces, who are not looking to be good men because they know they can just keep running this cycle of treating women poorly and then moving on to the next woman and treating women poorly. And
yeah, that's a fact. This is what I'm saying. The women that actually the men that women go for know that the women like to be treated like that, so they hone that skill. And this is what I'm saying, these women just keep getting duped by these guys who play on their sort of primal instincts and what they're attracted to. It's game, it's you know, just being smart and playing the game, you know. And men know that if they've got certain looks, they find out they treat women a certain way, it makes them, you know, interested in them, and then they just keep figuring it out, and then it gets to a point where they just keep running through chicks. That's just, you know, so there's guys that are like that. But it's because they understand women's nature as well, and it's like, well, they enjoy doing that, then they're going to do it. So, but that's what's wrong. Women are not going for the good men; they're going for the ones that trigger these emotions, you know.
Unfortunately, that is the debacle of the modern day dating sphere and why it's become so difficult.
You want the good guys now, only after you've been through a couple bad ones.
They've been told time and again that they aren't needed, aren't wanted, aren't necessary, and that they should just go away and leave women alone. And ladies, we've heard you loud and clear. Men are done with never being acknowledged, let alone appreciated for all that they do. So if you're wondering why all the men have walked away, there's your reasons.
Yeah, so like I said, until women start taking accountability and realising that the blueprint that they're all copying right now is just destroying their life. And it's destroying everything between men and women, the yin and the yang. It's like they're putting a block between the yin and the yang, you know. It's like, it's just not going to work. Like, it's not how we are designed to be. Women, and like I said, until women can sort of take accountability, you know, get realistic standards, and like I said, if you want to get a good man, your best time is when you're young and you're at your most valuable. So like I said, and learn to become feminine, and like it can flip with everything I'm saying, because that's what men should be looking for women to be and do. You know, you want women that are basically just going to bring peace to your life, and take accountability. A woman that can take accountability whilst being good looking and whatever is like it's like the rarest of rare. A good looking woman that can take accountability. In general, women, that's what I'm saying. I think accountability and I think feminism has enabled this fear of women's accountability to just let them get further and further and further away from it. And it just suits all women because it seems like all women's biggest emotional fear, like I said, it's the final boss, is accountability, and they're just scared of accountability. So this feminist movement, I think, helps them to get away from accountability, and it helps them gaslight easier, manipulate, and just completely deviate from their nature. And it's like they're getting programmed to be some modern monster that it's just no good for humanity. It's no good, girls. It's no good. And men, get yourself some standards, self-respect, concentrate on yourself, and only deal with women who are worth it. Don't just deal with a woman because she's good looking, because that is the outward. Believe me, if there's one thing I can tell guys, do not be fooled under any circumstances in any way by a woman's looks, or even how they initially seem. You have to be around them for a good bit of time and be very observant of, are they balanced, are they fake, etc. And the more time you spend around women, and I guess that's the problem, you kind of have to date to understand and get a feeling for it, but you're really looking for women who are respectful. Like, the bottom line is, the biggest factor is you're looking for a woman that respects men and isn't combative, and if she can take accountability. Like I say, basically, to keep it simple, you're trying to, don't just look at it as a date, oh, I'm just going to have a good time. Look at it as, this is like me interviewing her. Is she worth coming into my life? So just play with it. Like, try and have like little ways you can ask her questions, find things out, probe her, test her, you know. Too many men just go, oh, I'm in a woman's presence, this is great, I'm just so happy. No, you need to treat being around women like, you know, they've got to, like, you've got to, you know, question them, probe them. And I'm not saying make it seem like it's an interview, but in your mind, you're like, right, I need to find out about this chick. Find ways that you can delve into them and, you know, look for the red flags. That's kind of the mindset you need to get as a man. Because once you keep doing that, you get better and better and better at it, and then you get to a point where, when I was 20, the chick could have every red flag possible, and as long as she was opening her legs and we were having a good bit of time now and again, a bit of fun, even if she was an utter psychopath 90% of the time, as long as I was, you know, my testosterone was getting, my need for to, you know, do what testosterone is made for was getting fulfilled, I would just put up with all of the insanity for way longer than that. But now I can literally speak with a chick, and within no time I'm like, boom, got you. And sadly, now that I'm so aware, I can literally see through every woman, and there's none that are genuine. Like, granted, I've not spoke to every woman in the world, but just generally when I'm speaking about chicks that I've dealt with in my past, chicks that I've just dealt with in any conversation and dating or whatever kind of flirting in that sense, it's like, I just have to speak to them for less than a day most of the time, or a few days, or it can be a short period of time, and I see something, I'm like, yep, I don't like that. And it usually comes along with like lying or being fake or some kind of crazy take, or I see a bit of craziness in them. There's just things you can see. Basically, the bottom line is, I'm what I kind of know what I keep rambling. Just educate yourself. The more you educate yourself and the more experience you get with women, you need to be vigilant. Don't just be docile and be like, oh, I'm getting fun in the bed, that's all that matters. No, there's a lot more to it than that. And just listen to everything I've said, And look, the bottom line is women need to take accountability and get away from the feminist mindset. Like I said, it seems like accountability is the final boss, and until they can face the final boss, this is just going to get worse, and it affects both sides. So until the next time, peace.